And we're live. Hello, my little Patreons, you little lovely little people. You're the only people who ever hear that bit. 3, 1. Never nearly gave away my code to unlock my computer. Put that on mute. Well, no one's in the room. What's happening? Don't you say you can't see the stream for about 80 times? Oh, Cat's Kale is in the house. Good old Lewis Gado. Probably not pills. Goji Man! Hello, you sexy beast. How are you? I like your new avatar, by the way. It looks really cool with the sort of cartoonized. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I'm on a cut. I'm blaming everything on my cut. My brain's gone to absolute pieces. I had to not go to Ethics pop-up shop this weekend. They've got that on for 3 days. Friday through Sunday. It looks really good. They got all new products which I wanted to buy. I wanted to hang out, meet people, but I'm just feeling like death on this diet. So I need to. The last 2 to 4 weeks, I just got to take my foot off. Not take my foot off the gas. I'm doing I'm doing more training. Like calories have gone down a little bit more. I'm on 3,000 calories now, which might sound a lot to you, but I was on 6,000 like a little while back. Let's just find where we are. I'm missing the animal rights march as well. That would like kill me if I did that. I was thinking, oh, do I just carb up for that day? But then I'll have the wrong amount of calories, and I just need to get this cup finished up. I'm gutted not to be going to both of those things. So Bastian Wilkins in the house, Sweet Pepper, Becca V. Paige eats plants. Oh, it's morning. PNW. That's got, Pacific Northwest. Francois in the house. Varelli's. Robert Pacino. Oh, Graven with babies with a wrench there. Hi, lovely. Send hi to the voice from beyond as well.
Oh, hi.
Then Kono's in the house. Roku. Oh, someone's hit up with the super chat already. That's amazing. If you guys are so lovely that you want to help support my work on Hither with a super chat, that is very happily and kindly received. And you get to ask a question. You go to the top of the pile. Truly Minnie just wanted to donate $5.99 out of the kindness of her heart, though. Turn me off. I'm doing my own heading.
Sorry.
That is really kind. Thank you so much. You beautiful person. Right. Hang on a minute. Where were we? Svetchery. I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh, wow. I actually caught a live stream before it ended. Nice. You're right in at the start, my friend. Yeah, I was going to say I've not seen you on here before. Whereabouts are you from, my friend? Probably Snot Pills is in the house. Never ending cut. It feels like that. I've been going for a while. Goji Man. Check out Goji Man. If you love what I'm doing, you'll certainly love what he's doing. Real great vegan nutritionist. Specialised in gut health, which is the reason there's a lot of, it's the reason for most of the ex-vegans, I think, is probably because their gut's not in good order in the first place. How are you going to have good health if the number one thing, like where all this food comes in, it's the interface with the food. If that's not working properly, how is any diet going to make you well? It's not. Hey buddy, all good. Hope you guys we're really well. We're really, really well. We're so looking forward to our little European excursion with you guys. That's going to be amazing. And hanging out at the camp out together as well. Yeah, really looking forward to seeing you both. It's going to be off the hook. Christian says, do I still train in martial arts? No, I kind of, when I first went vegan, I had what I would term like a spiritual awakening, and I didn't want to be involved in like violence anymore. And then after a while, I wanted to make some self-protection sort of videos, which you may have seen recently. I kind of brought them up on that Sverige fight video. And losing my train of thought because I'm on this bloody cut again. Yeah, and then I've kind of done a complete not a complete 360 on it, but I've come to the conclusion that sadly sometimes, you know, violence may be necessary. You know, I'm not going to be anyone's punching bag or whatever. And I think it's good to, you know, have vegan like martial artists and self-protection instructors, and just if you don't know if you guys have seen Game Changers yet. I was lucky enough to get an early viewing, and it starts out with James Lightning Wilkes earning his nickname. He's just lightning fast doing all these mad self-protection techniques on these special ops soldiers, like teaching them how to fight. He is twice the speed that anyone should be able to move. He's hit these guys with about 13 different strikes within the space of about 2 or 3 seconds. It looks mad, and that's how the film starts. And he's like the narrator going for his such great advocacy, in my view. Who's kindly donated again? Denkana, you're always helping me out, you lovely person. $5 on the super chat. Any suggestions from your struggle with SIBO? Any suggestions from my struggle? Results are positive and doctors put me on. So I don't even know what that is, I'm afraid. Goji Man's the man for this job, really. 2 weeks, wants to nuke that. Oh, so is that a antibiotic, is it? Oh, I see. Want to nuke those sparks. Yeah, I'm no expert on gut health. I always refer everyone over to Goji Man. So if he's still in the chat, you may want to speak to him. But yeah, so with my SIBO, obviously I got diagnosed, ran the test. Goji Man looked at the results, you know, said I've got SIBO. And by taking the natural, like, antimicrobials, we cycled through 3 different ones over the course of a few weeks. I seem to be better. I'm yet to do the test. I keep meaning to do the test. You have to do it on, like, certain days, because you have to send it off to the lab. And so really, my only option really is to, because you have to eat really restricted. Like, for me, it's just pretty much white rice, so that you could have some lettuce and... what is it? Tomatoes without the skins as well. That's about it, yeah. I'll probably just be eating the white rice just to try and get enough calories to fuel my day. But yeah, so I don't know for sure. I've not had the test back, but I've got no more pain, no more bloating, etc., etc. It's a bit of a compounding variable, because at the same time that I started the treatment, I also finished my bulk and went on to a cut, and that, you know, that helps as well, because it was the amount of food I was stuffing in was certainly part of it. But yeah, I was getting acid reflux and like mad cramp, like real nasty pain with it. And I lately, because I'm towards the end of the cut, you know, you've probably seen on my Instagram or in some of my videos, but I'm piling in tons of low calorie fruit, like berries I had just now, low calorie vegetables. I'm eating big amounts now, and I'm getting no negative responses. So I feel like it's very, very, very likely that it cured my SIBO. And not only that, I accidentally ate gluten. There was tofu. I didn't know it had panko breadcrumbs, and it was wheat. Had a little bit of that, and I've been gluten intolerant for a lot of years. It would kick my ass. I'll be out of the game for like 5 days. And actually, it seems like I've cured that. Since then, I've like doubled the amount and then quadrupled the amount just to see as a test, and I've got away with it. I'm kind of scared I need to try out other foods, because I'm kind of scared, have they changed the recipe on those breadcrumbs? Are they not glutinous now? Because it really does kill me. But it's looking like I've got a hell of a lot to thank Goji Man for. Do check out his channel if you want amazing health.
You've had 2 more super chats.
2 more super chats. Oh, wow. Wow. No one's even asking questions. You're just trying to help support what I'm doing. That is so beautiful. What a vote of confidence. Do you know what I mean? Apart from the helping, you know, supporting me financially and making me able to do this, it feels like a big vote of confidence that you think I'm doing a good job. So that means more than you'll ever know, guys. James Jeffrey, $5 on the super chat, and Christian Scardina, 5. You're so kind, guys. Thank you so very, very much. I really appreciate you. You're amazing. Well, I'm going to carry on the chat from where like the last super chat is. If I missed your comment or question, do feel free to throw that back on the in the thread there. Hopefully you'll see it. Oh, wow. Right, that shut me up. Sweet pepper. I've seen you a fair few times now on the videos and in the chats, haven't I? I think you're fairly new, as far as I know. Sweet pepper, $10 on the super chat. Please talk about why you don't eat fish. Any documentaries or books to recommend? Thank you for everything you do for the animals. Thank you. Comment for the cookbook. Oh, thank you so much. From you and Gemma. Love your chili recipe. Yeah, that's good, that chili, isn't it? It's like a smoky mixed bean chili. That little smokiness really adds. There's a little tiny bit of cinnamon in there as well, which I think really adds. Why I don't eat fish. So, any animal product is high in the sulfur containing amino acids that can cause like cancers and things. Also, it looks like when our blood becomes like acid, some of our amino acids from our muscles are actually catabolized. Catabolized, yes, the word. They're taken from the muscle. They go to the liver. The liver transforms the aminos into glutamine, which is alkaline, to buffer the acid in the blood. So we used to think that it was calcium from our bones that was doing the buffering, but actually we found out later on through different methods that's wrong. So we used to think we were peeing our bones down the toilet. We actually now know it's more likely we're peeing our muscle down the toilet. When we're younger and our testosterone's high, it offsets the damage, so you get away with it. But into middle and older age, your testosterone depletes. It's not going to sort of allow for that. So that's number one. Fish. They live in the sewers of mankind, basically, the sea. Everything ends up in the sea, all the pollutants, heavy metals, industrial pollutants, pesticides, DDT, chemicals from like industry. Just everything ends up there. And I used to think, so what, the sea is bloody huge. Whatever difference does that make? But that was because I didn't know about bioaccumulation. So if you've not heard about this term before, if you imagine that you've got all this plant life and it soaks up a bit of these contaminants. And then tiny little fish feed on this plant life their whole lives. And then slightly bigger fish eat the little fish. So now that's multiplying the amount of stuff they've eating a load of those fish. Now you're getting exponentially more contaminants and bigger fish and until you get to like tuna and such. And so hyper concentrated plastics as well. They reckon that the average fish eater swallows about 11,000 microplastics a year. And these are hormone disruption, These will feminize a guy and things like that. So
and fish have got better things to do.
Yeah, fish are people too. But yeah, from a health perspective, and all these pollutants, the plastics end up in like the musculature of the fish, but all the toxins end up in the oil, in the fat. That's where toxins are stored, in fat. So people who are taking like fish oil capsules by the dozen or eating oily fish thinking that's good for you, you're getting massive amounts of toxins, So that's some of the main things.
I've had loads more super chats.
Oh, why are you guys so lovely to me lately? I really appreciate you all.
Well, two more, I believe.
Two more super. Oh, it's jumped. I need a second assistant to keep me up to speed with where I am. Denkono kindly donated $2 on the super chat. There is an antibiotic, and they've put you on a low FODMAP diet. Yeah. So sadly, so the antibiotic, if you can get away with not using it, I'd really try to, because it really decimates your gut microbiome and that's your potential for health. It can take years to get right again. Some people say, look, it will never be as good. I don't know how true that is. We don't know everything about the gut microbiome yet. Try to swerve it if you can help it. The antibiotics I was using was natural ones that don't kill off everything. They just kill off certain ones. So it's allicin, which is from like garlic, allium vegetables, berberine, which is from a berry, and I was using grapeseed oil.
Extract.
Grapeseed extract.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah. So there was no harsh antibiotics. So try to go that route if you can. Other than that, you know, you're going to have to put in the good foods, you know, that contain the prebiotics that feed the good bacteria, and then they'll bloom again. Sadly, if you're on a low FODMAP diet, those FODMAPs are the best things for these good bacteria to eat. What is it? Fermentable, oligo, di, and monosaccharides and polyols. So different sort of sugars and like types of fiber, and that's what they eat. So again, I'm not the best person to speak to. Speak to Goji, man. But it's kind of like the FODMAP diet. The idea of the FODMAP diet was never that you don't eat these foods ever again. The idea is to take them out while you're having this reaction, treat the symptom, treat the cause, and then slowly add in more and more of each of these different types. See what ones you can get away with now. But you, for health, you need to be on the high FODMAP foods. It's you have my sympathy. It's one of the most annoying things that can go wrong. And yeah, but you know, once you've sorted that out, get on the fermented foods. You know, probiotics if you want to. Like you really need high doses though. Obviously, you need to make sure that you've treated the problem. Once you know you've treated the problem, maybe a high dose probiotic. It's many different strains of bacteria as possible. And really, the people who I've listened to about this say, like, you know, most probiotics are like maybe 5 billion count per capsule. 5 billion sounds like a lot of bacteria, but the trouble is they're so very tiny. And we actually have 100 trillion bacteria in the colon to repopulate. So that's like a drop in the ocean, you know. So really the experts say hundreds of billions, if not trillions of bacteria count, you know, per day, if you want to actually make a clinical like difference in your microbiome there. So I hope you get that sorted out nice and quick. Donkey Kong, $2 on the super chat. Are you glad that Donkey Kong is your biggest friend? Yeah, Donkey Kong is he's herbivorous for a start. He's possibly the henchest herbivore, and purveyor of fun games. Thank you so much, Donkey Kong. I really appreciate you, you little monkey.
You got 2 more super chats.
Oh, I got 2 more super chats. Let's zip forwards. Again, if I miss your comment or question, just pop it back. Way. I just jumped.
Those are the 2.
Phil D, you beautiful man. You're always really doing the big super chats. I really appreciate you, brother. $10. Up my running and swimming per week. Nice. And smashing more veg. Nice, etc. Put on 1.2 kilos. Yeah, scales say muscle mass is increased in line. Should I be concerned, or is this body? Scales say muscle mass has increased in line. Put on 1.2 kilos. Did you mean to say hasn't increased in line? Are you saying like you're putting body fat on? I'm a little bit confused. Should I be concerned? And also, the type of scales you'll have at home are probably next to useless in terms of like body fat and muscle mass. Really, you're looking at least $2,000 for like a half decent bit of kit, and even then, like they're not great. Really, it's a DEXA scan that you want.
He says muscle mass has increased.
Right. So I don't understand. Oh, are you saying that you're... I'm confused. So your weight's gone up. Scales say muscle mass has increased. I don't get... Don't you want the muscle mass to increase if your weight's going up? Or are you trying to like lose weight? In which case, you know, you need to just trim your calories back, basically. Explain yourself, young man. I might just be being dippy because I'm on this cut, and like I say, it's killing me. Vigard Solberg, 50 knock on the super chat. Thank you. Do you do cold or hot shower? I love your channel. Have some beet juice. Oh, thank you. I will get some beet juice soon because I'll be back on my bulk and I'll be putting that in. So I may well spend that money on some Beat It. Hot or cold shower. I never really have a shower. I like to have a hot bath. And oftentimes I get in, what am I looking at? I'm just looking at the questions, but they're on a computer and not this screen, the iPhone. I don't know why answered the question that just popped up on my screen. Sorry. What was I saying? Yeah, I normally have a bath. If I'm about to train, like I'll have a moderately warm bath, and I'll add hot as I can stand it, and I'll get it really hot, and then I'll find that I'm much more supple. You're about twice as stretchy at that point. I like doing that. Lately, I've been having really cold baths because it's been so hot. I'm eating although I'm on a cut, I'm eating a decent amount of carbohydrate, which is thermogenic. So yeah, so no showers typically, and but baths, hot or cold, depending. Good question. Right, let's. Oh, there's another super chat. Wow, Eve Rose, £1.99 gold, British pound sterling. Thanks for all the information. Thank you so much, Han. That's nice to be appreciated. Thank you. You're a lovely lass. Phil's muscle mass has increased.
Yeah, I told you that. He hasn't said anything else since.
Right.
Looking out, but he hasn't said anything. If he does,
So are you not wanting it to increase, I guess? Is that the thing? Skate Flare, Vegan Comeback 2019. Are you going? I'm debating on going. Erin Janice will be doing it all. Yeah, she's great, isn't she? I am going. I'm meant to be doing the, what do you call it? The boot camp, but I think I'm going to give them a message later today. And I think I'm going to back out of that because I don't know when I'm going to finish my cut, and it may go into that, in which case, like, either I might not go at the last minute, like I've cancelled the ethics pop-up shop this weekend and the animal rights march in another 2 weekends time, because I'm just not up to it. Like, my body's I'm really on the edge, basically. I'm really on the edge. Any little extra exertion, I'll get so dizzy, like it's nasty. So I'll probably be at the camp out, but I won't do the boot camp. I will announce nearer the time, but I'm hoping to go because I really love the camp out. It's my favourite event now, in all honesty.
Phil Diaz said something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drop, but wonder if due to training intensity, body is pushing for me.
Yeah, quite simply, Phil, you're just eating too many calories, so you're eating enough calories to build on. Sort of a bit surprising to build muscle on cardio.
He says this.
Yeah. 1434 calories consumed. That's a low amount of calories. 2,807 burned. Budget. So if you're burning more than you're consuming, like, your weight should be really plummeting. So something's wrong there. Something's wrong somewhere or other. Yeah. But yeah, like, if you're not wanting your weight to go up, it's just trimming your calories back until you hit your maintenance or whatever, basically. I hope that's answered everything. I'm a little bit confused today because of my diet, as I keep going on about. Hench Herbivore chicken in. Thanks, Ray Steve. It's always good to have you in the chat, sorting out all these, not all these trolls, because most of you are lovely, lovely people. But I mean, when the trolls do come in.
Goji Man said goodbye.
Oh, bye, Goji Man. We love you. Go and subscribe to his channel, guys, before you forget. He's amazeballs. Is that fair to say?
Definitely.
You heard it from the voice from beyond. Phil D is sad. I'm sorry to hear you're sad. That's terrible. That's terrible. It's the worst news I've heard all day. Will Ferrell, oh, I love your work. Do you worry about eating omega-6 or omega-3 because they compete for the same enzyme, or do you just eat a lot more 3? You don't want to eat more 3 to 6, really. You want them, like, roughly in balance. You can have, like, 2 to 4 times, like, the 6 to 3. But, it may be healthier for a vegan to be nearer 1-to-1, especially if you're not eating any direct EPA DHA. Ollie B, thoughts on calisthenics athletes, especially vegan ones? The vegan ones are best. It's a great discipline. It's good to have control of your body. Without putting in some bodybuilding moves, like something for, like, the side delts, you're never going to have, like, the best, like, balanced physique. But, if you just want to be able to flip around like a monkey and look cool doing it, and you're still going to build some muscle, or, Still good stuff. It's very impressive, isn't it? Oh, it's those vegan guys. Check those guys out. They're amazeballs too. Very fun. Hi, Paul and Gemma. Missed the last one, so I had to pop over this. And thank you guys. I really appreciate you saying that was a good video. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, check out that video about me and Derek Simnet. It's like a small amount of videos back. Very funny. Always laughing out loud. Ashley O. Flynn. Hi, Paul, you legend. I like you already. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I love you. Would you say gluten-free is easier on vegan diet than non-vegan diet? Just found out I'll probably have celiac. Well, I'm going vegan, by the way. Good for you. So I may have cured it, but I had a terrible problem with gluten. Either way, really, like, if you're eating whole foods, you know, and you're not eating wheat berries or, you know, rye or, you know, like whole barley, like whatever they're called, you know, rather than processed products, then you're laughing because you're not going to be eating any of it. If you're eating processed foods, then it may be in some of them. So, one more reason to stick to the whole foods. But good on you for going vegan. Let us know if you have any problems or queries or any advice you need. Oh, smacking everything about. Truly Mimi, again with the super chat, $4.99. Thank you. Would you say calisthenics is a good way to start to build strength if you can't afford to go to a gym yet? It depends like what you mean. And when I hear strength, like I imagine like sort of power lifters, you know, and you can't really do much on legs. Something's better than nothing, isn't it, basically? So, it's, you know, if you can't get in a gym, that's good. I started out with the little, like, adjustable bench and some plastic, like, a barbell and dumbbell set. That would be a better way to go to get more of a range of lifts. Preferably, you'd get squat stands or a squat rack as well. Sounds like a big outlay, but if you look in second-hand like shops and like online or whatever magazines, you know, people are always selling all this sort of kit because they realise that they're too lazy to actually use it. So that's a one good way. Right, those vegan guys, glad it made you laugh. I struggle making it. I've lost it so many times. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That was genius. I really loved it. Thank you. Vegan for Life is a vegan metalhead. Awesome. Do you know, I don't listen to a lot of music, but if I was like training like really aggressively, I wouldn't mind a bit of heavy metal at that time. Heart Mada, I'm pretty sure I have rotator cuff tendonitis. That sucks. I had horrible pain around there, on that side, and my physio told me to add in pendulums. I don't know if you've seen that exercise. You hold a dumbbell. I'll just demonstrate it rather than trying to explain it. You start off like with a little circles and then bigger and bigger. With a little dumbbell. So the idea is that the ball and socket joint, like the pressure is sort of relieved, and then like you're creating space in the capsule, and because that felt like tendonitis. If it is tendonitis, this ain't going to help one little bit. But if it is the same sort of injury I had, it works really, really well. It's like like a lifesaver. Just do it like daily, particularly like pre-workout. That was really good. Else, yeah, tendonitis. So I used to have screaming tendonitis pains. I actually tore the biceps off of my right arm. You might see there's a little scar there where they cut it and put a little slit there, got some tongs, pulled it down, like reattached it. There to cut like through the back there, drill a hole in the bone. So yeah, so I'm not new to sort of tendon problems. But what I found was when I went whole foods vegan, you know, very alkaline diet, and balanced my omega-3 and 6. 3 is anti-inflammatory, 6 is pro-inflammatory. You know, that helped no end. That was huge. People really don't know how powerful nutrition is. If they did, everyone would be whole foods vegans, I swear. Yeah, but yeah, get that checked out. Maybe try that little pendulum trick though. You do like a minute each way, little circles, and working bigger and bigger over the course of the minute, and then switch. Oh, sweet Papa, you lovely person. $5 on the super chat. Why do you think the UK has embraced veganism more than other European countries and the US? I don't really know. We're meant to be a nation of animal lovers, is one thing. One thing that we pride ourselves on, even the ones that are still eating cheeseburgers and don't know any better. I find it a little bit weird because it's normally countries which have felt what it's like to be oppressed, like Israel, you know, Tel Aviv. Is meant to be about 8% vegans, you know, which is huge, as the most of anywhere in the world. So, and you know, Great Britain used to be a bunch of B words, you know, like, you know, with the old colonies and like, you know, just invading places and taking them over. Like, it's really disgusting. So, I'm a little bit stumped. What do you guys think? Have you got any perspective on that? I remember chatting to Gabriel of Gaia's Eye. We did a video together, and he postulated that there's quite a good level of education on aggregate in Great Britain, and apparently there is a correlation with intelligence and going vegan, which I'm going to just blindly believe because it fits my bias. I just called myself out on my own BS. Right, where were we? Just looking for a question. Vegan for Life, who's your favourite band? Hench. Again, I'm not greatly into music now. I used to be big time into like hip hop, and I was actually a turntablist in a rap metal band. You didn't know that, did you? Did a bit of DJing as well. Bands. Lately, the only thing I really listen to regularly is dubstep, like mostly when I'm training. Probably Knife Party. Knife Party. I'm a big fan of Skrillex as well. Yep, so that's the end of that chapter. Oh, it's just jumped again. Sorry, everyone. I'm just going to skip forward a little bit because it'll take me ages to find where I was. Justin Webber, what's your favourite animal? Ooh, that's a really good question. I bet Gemma would say a baby goat.
What, my favourite animal?
Yeah.
Goats and squirrels are my favourite animals.
Oh, goats and squirrels, controversial. What's my favourite animal? It'd be hard to say, really. They're all like cool in their own way, aren't they? As a lad, I was well into sharks. I thought that they were really graceful and, you know, they're exciting, aren't they? I wouldn't like to meet one down a dark alley, that's for sure. But favourite animal? I might say like goats, like baby goat. I don't know. There's so many great ones though. It's hard to. I'll have to think on that one really.
Copy me. Come up with your own idea.
Yeah, but that's so cool. I like how they're so skittish and then they like jump on each other and knock each other over like a bunch of knobs. Phil D, you beautiful man.
You've had 3 other super chats before that.
Oh wow! Right, let's.
Everyone's been lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got 4.
Is that Michael James first? Michael James, £2 on the super chat. Thank you so much. Good sources to get educated on vegan nutrition. Veganfacts.org. They've also got a YouTube channel.
Nutrition facts? Did you mean to say?
What did I say?
Vegan facts.
Oh my God, get me off this diet. Nutritionfacts.org. They're the best. They look at every English language nutrition study that comes out to see who funded it, was it good science, what should we do about it. They're great people. It's all for free. you know, there's a lot of great books and podcasts and documentaries. Forks Over Knives for films. What the Health. Podcasts wise, I like the Janie Dulaney Plant-Based Wellness podcast. That's particularly good. She's a cardiologist. Plant Yourself podcast by I'm trying to look at the books. I've forgotten his name. I was on it as well.
Howard Jacobson.
Howard Jacobson. He's a lovely man. He co-authored Whole with T. Colin Campbell, and he also co-authored Proteinaholic with Garth Davis. Yeah, I did a little podcast with him. That was great. What else is good?
But a bit of Neil Barnard.
Yeah, Neil Barnard. So yeah, look up books by people like Neil Barnard, T. Colin Campbell, Dr. Dean Ornish, Caldwell Esselstyn.
You like that Becoming Vegan book?
Ah, yeah. Becoming Vegan by Brenda Davis and forgot the other lady's name, but they're two great vegan dietitians, and it's like the Bible of vegan nutrition. It's like a real treatise on everything like vegan nutrition. Like it's really amazing. It's got like vitamin mineral needs by age, sex, stage of life. You know, like pregnant, lactating. All that good stuff. So that's my top pick for a book. There's lots of other great books. So How Not to Die. Then there's cookbooks like How Not to Die Cookbook and the Flavour. What was that? Forks Over Knives Flavour book is really good. Yeah. Thanks for the super chat. David Ryan, €2. Nothing to say, just being a beautiful person. I remember seeing you in the comment section of a video recently, don't I? I'm sure that was you. Thanks for joining the chat tonight, and thank you for the kind donation. Michael James, £2 on the super chat. Oh, I've already done that. What's going on?
Donated it twice.
Oh,
Question.
oh, what a lovely person. Phil D with a massive £10 sterling. He's made of money. Ladies, watch out for him. He's great. Been making my own seitan, but read a lot of negativity about eating it. Do I flip between tofu for a change? Thoughts on protein source? Tofu, tempeh or seitan? Tempeh #1 because it's like a whole bean, and then it's got fermented mycelium. So that's very, very healthy. You've not lost any of the nutrients, and in fact, you've got some fermented like action going on. So that's by far the best. With tofu, you know, you lose most of the fiber, you lose half the minerals. It's all right for a processed food, as long as it's not like one of these cutlets with like oil and all kinds of nonsense added. Like it's all right really. And to be fair, when I go back on a bulk, I'm going to start using tofu daily, so I don't have so much volume to eat. I think that would be a great time to use that. Not really looked into seitan because I have been seriously gluten intolerant. I've never really looked into it. I've never heard anything particularly negative about it though, unless obviously you've got a gluten intolerance. A lot of people cut out gluten, like just on the off chance that they've got a problem with it. And, you know, maybe they got some symptoms, but if the symptoms don't change when you take it out, put it straight back in, because the more you restrict your diet, the less healthy of a gut microbiome you're going to have. The #1 predictor of your health is the health of your gut microbiome. The #1 predictor of the health of your gut microbiome is the diversity in the range of different plant foods that you choose to put in there. So if you've not got a problem with gluten, don't take it out is my advice.
He's saying he's heard negativity around seitan. I wonder what that
Yeah, well, it's probably the gluten thing, I should think.
Oh, not seitan. Yeah, seitan.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a funny one.
Michael James just donated £1 whole Great British pound. He probably had to work hard for that, but he's really appreciating what I'm doing, and he's a beautiful, beautiful man. Compassionate vegan. Should I eat beets for high blood pressure, or should I juice them? I would eat them because then you'll be getting the fibre as well. I wouldn't go mad on beets because they are relatively high in oxalates. If you've got a well-functioning gut, you can get away with a moderate amount of oxalates. You know, I wouldn't bung in nothing but high oxalate foods though. And if you have, you know, I had a problem with oxalates when the SIBO was diagnosed. Goji Man reckons if the SIBO's cured, then likely that should go right as well. And certainly I've been eating, you know, spinach, sweet potatoes, beets. Beet greens are the worst. They're like really high in oxalates, but beet, you know, the actual beet themselves is relatively sort of high as well. Chard is another one, really, really high. And rhubarb. Never did like that anyway, so I'm happy not to really put that in. Okay. Julia A, if you had the opportunity to fly on Concorde, as I did, you can see the curvature of the Earth.
Everyone's talking about flat Earth.
Yeah, I guess that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't argue with... you know, with your eyes. Unless it's on a screen, then it could be BS. That's interesting. Graven Babies freezes her tofu, then thaws it and refreezes it, and thaws it, and then it's better. Who knew?
I think you should show everyone that little cat around the side of your computer there.
This is one of my favourite animals in existence. Hang on. There he is. He's tired. Oh, I'll tell you, I really love cats. I've always loved cats. We've always had cats in our family, but I probably won't get another one. Some people say get a rescue and whatever, but I think next I would like, if I do get companion animals, I think vegan ones. Oh, here's another one. Possibly like goats. It would be nice to have a place, wouldn't it? And
Yeah.
lots of rescued animals in the garden, and they have loads of space and friends to play with. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Cowboy, say hello to everybody.
Look, you're famous. Is it good? Yeah. He said yeah. Compassionate vegan, what foods would you recommend personally for high blood pressure? So any whole plant foods, don't go very high with the fat. If you've got high blood pressure, I would go no more than about 10% of your calories from fat, not much more than that. Don't skip it out either though, because that can be bad. You need some essential fats like omega-3 and 6. So get your flax and chia seeds in their ground, some other nuts and seeds for the omega-6. Particularly good for heart disease is hibiscus tea. It's the most antioxidant rich tea in the world. It's real bright red. You don't want to go mad with that, but you know, a couple of cups a day would be great. It's very high in manganese, so you can easily get too much manganese, but a couple of cups will be fine. That'll help. Garlic. Beta glucans are really good, and that's found in things like oats or all the mushrooms. Their structure is these beta glucans. But the main thing is avoiding sat fat, particularly like the long chain and very long chain saturated fats, cholesterol and trans fats. So if you're not eating animal products, you're eating zero cholesterol. So that's number one. But the cholesterol is actually less of a problem, believe it or not, than that other two. But it's still, you don't want to be putting cholesterol in. We make all the cholesterol we need. So then the sat fat, it's really the three biggest rogues when it comes to vegan sources is coconut oil is really horrible. It's worse than beef fat for giving you heart disease. Coconut oil, palm oil, also called palm kernel oil, which is only really found in processed products. You can buy it on its own as well, but that's really horrible. And cocoa butter. So sadly, chocolate's really, really bad for your heart. I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole if you want to have a long, happy, healthy life. However, cocoa powder is the one processed food healthier than the whole food. With the powder, they take out most of the saturates. So, you know, you can make black bean brownies and chocolate like date arrays, you know, milkshake type things with a plant milk. you can make no end of desserts and stuff like energy balls, bars, that sort of thing. So you don't have to miss out on the chocolate flavour, but you just don't want the cocoa solids. Just one more thing before I finish. And trans fats. If you're not eating animal products, you won't be eating the trans fats as found within them. If you're eating things like margarine, which from an oil, but then they're solid at room temperature, they've been hydrogenated, which means they contain trans fats, which are really horrible for your heart health. So there's mainly avoid those. Eat plenty of whole plant foods. Don't go mad on fats, though. Just get the sort of minimum in. What were you going to say? The voice from beyond.
I wondered if you wanted to answer this question, because it's someone transitioning to a whole foods plant.
Okay, let's answer it. Keegan Smith, Hench, trying to transition to whole plant foods. I've had several meals all vegan, not feeling less satiated. Any advice to combat this feeling? Eat more.
I thought you might
Done.
talk about the calories compared to, like, say, animal products and processed foods.
Yeah.
And plant foods.
If you come on, depending on how you've been eating historically, it's very easy. If you go whole plant foods, I mean, you could just be eating lettuce leaves, and there's hardly any calories in lettuce leaves. It's a lot of water and some fibre. So you need to take a care on the calories you're consuming. What I would recommend is to go on the Chronometer app. Can you type that in?
Yeah.
Go on the Chronometer app. It's free. Type in the foods you're eating. Number one, make sure you're getting enough calories. So say you were eating 2,000 calories before. There's no H in Chronometer.
Oh, I didn't mean to put that. Oh, right, yeah.
What was I saying? Number one, get enough calories. So say you're eating 2,000, make sure you're still eating 2,000. Try to eat a range of whole plant foods. So most meals, you want to try and get a legume. You don't have to do it every single time, but throughout the day, you want to eat a decent amount of legumes, whole grains, or tubers like potato, sweet potato. Those are your kind of mainstays. That's kind of high protein, high starch. And then you want some vegetables in there. Try to get different colours throughout the day, but emphasise leafy greens because they've got a lot more minerals and the vitamin K. A bit of fruit as well is great. Berries probably number one, but you can eat a range of different fruits. Little nuts and seeds. Again, I wouldn't go mad on it. For an average person without heart disease, I'd say around 15% of your calories, probably great. Get flax and or ground chia seeds each day because they are good for omega-3, and then eat a range of the other nuts and seeds. If you can get whole nut and seed butters as well, they're considered a whole food. Although they are processed, like they're ground, there's nothing bad added, nothing good taken away. So in those terms, we consider that a whole food. And then your herbs and spices as well, they're kind of like superfoods because they're so nutritionally rich for, very few calories. Is that the long and short of it? Make sure you're supplementing vitamin B12, vitamin D3 if you're not getting sun. You could consider a long chain DHA omega-3 supplement if you wish. It's worth it as a safeguard just in case, because some people have trouble converting the short chain ALA into the longer chain EPA and up to DHA. It's rare, but it can happen, and it's cheap as chips, so why wouldn't you? And you also want some seaweed, else like an iodine supplement. I recommend Lugol's solution to make sure you got everything covered. Yeah, and you should be golden. Typically, the main thing people get wrong is they undereat on calories, particularly, again, if you go whole foods, because, oil, 400 calories of oil would coat the bottom of your stomach, whereas 400 calories of vegetables, you'd be stuffed. So it's easy to get that wrong. That's number one where people go wrong, really. Can you hear that squeak? We've got massive mice in the loft. Right, who's saying stuff? Same game. Should you eat leafy greens every day if you want to be really, really healthy? Best food in the world. I try to eat kale every day. It's got the sulforaphane, which is really cancer protective. It really boosts your liver enzymes. But yeah, any of the greens are great. Again, I wouldn't go mental on spinach, chard or beet greens because they are high oxalates. If your gut is functioning well, you can have a moderate amount of them and not worry. But if you've got problems, you may want to skimp on those. There's plenty of other ones. And as I say, kale probably is the queen of greens, I would say, due to the sulforaphane. But yeah, you want to be eating leafy greens daily. I would say I eat at least 400 grams of greens. Sometimes I might even eat 2 heads of a lettuce, you know, as well as my kale and maybe spinach. So, yeah, very good. Oh, this has just jumped again. Vegano Smitty, are you going to make a response video to that psycho Bobby who went after you on a video? Nah, he's too small time, so I'm really trying to get like a decent amount of views as much as possible on most of the videos I bring out to help grow the channel. I never watch critique videos of me because when people are like disrespectful or like outright sort of lie about me, you know, I'm all sweetness and nice now, but I do have like a temper back in there somewhere. So what I've decided is to not subject myself to things that will make me angry, you know, because if I bump into these people, like it could be bad for them. So really, I'm doing it for their health. Should I admit to all this stuff?
Well, you just did.
I'm just being honest. I like to be transparent. You know, I wish it wasn't that way. You know, I've become a lot calmer since I've gone vegan and added in meditation. You know, I've not laid a hand on someone in years now. How long would you say?
I don't know, a lot of years.
The last was the neighbour that we got wrong with, wasn't it? It was a bellend. How long? That's a lot of years, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the last time. It's probably, it's at least 5 years, isn't it? It's probably more than that, is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
5, 6, 7 years. You know, and back in the day when I was working like nightclubs, you know, that was pretty much a daily sort of thing, really. You know, I feel bad about it now. You know, I feel some remorse. I was never a bully, but if someone like would do something, you know, like disrespectful, like they did have to get hurt. And, you know, there's no need for that, is there? You know. Anyway, I digest. Chelsea Thorne, I have a non-vegan friend in the UK who visited the Funky Vegan in Norwich. The Funky Vegan? A lot of great things to say. Have you been there? I've never heard of it, and I'm sure I would have heard of it. Was it like the Tipsy Vegan or something like that? Was that it? Unless I can't imagine that I would miss something. Funky Vegan.
If you meant to say digress.
Yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke.
They probably thought you had brain dog.
Yeah. Do you know, I've typed in Funky Vegan and the Tipsy Vegan was the first thing that came up. So, Funky Vegan. Yeah. No, I don't think there's such a thing. Yeah, we ought to know about it. What sort of place is it?
Oh, yeah, it is a Tipsy Vegan.
Ah, cool. Was there a question as well?
I've forgotten. I don't know. I wasn't listening to the last part, so.
Because the Tipsy Vegan is more like sort of diner type food, I would probably call it. Been in there a few times, but I've really eaten in there. But I did have a tempeh sticky ribs. Like that was particularly good. It's just a lovely atmosphere and like everything's vegan. They have some good mocktails as well. You know, we don't drink, but
Kombucha drinks.
Kombucha, yeah. Veralis, rage or anger isn't good or cathartic, just makes you feel worse. I would say about feelings, you know, feelings are meant to be felt. That's why it's there. But, you know, it's better to channel that positively. So if people are an ass to me, you know, on the internet trolls, that just makes me work harder to turn the world vegan. But just when it's in my face, like disrespect, like I do, you know, I can really sort of flip out. And yeah, it's not good to feel anger. It's best to try to forgive, really. what am I trying to say? What do the Buddhists say? Like, to hold on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting your enemy to die. So, you're best to just try to forgive and move on. And in that way, hopefully the person doesn't pass that like negativity on to the next person. So I try to step out of my ego and let things go as far as possible. But none of us are perfect, and feelings are there to be felt, and we get angry. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong in and of itself, in that, like, feelings are there to be felt, but it's how you deal with it, isn't it? That's the thing.
From that place.
Pardon?
Whether you act from that place of anger, I guess.
Yeah. I used to like taking it out on the weight. Well, I do take it out on the weights, on the punch bag. That's a healthy outlet, isn't it? Yeah, well said. What have we got? Right, we've got 5 more minutes. Let's try and get a couple more questions in. This has just jumped like crazy. Grandma Meaders, I am fat, obese at 200 pounds, I'm guessing you're saying, and it has been a real struggle losing 90 for over 3 years. It's a real struggle my whole life. I would just highly recommend that you eat a whole foods, plant-based diet. Really fill up. The first thing you want to eat from the meal is low-calorie vegetables, so your leafy greens, like your crucifers, alliums, like all that good stuff. Real low-calorie vegetables. You want to eat some legumes, you want to eat some whole grains or some tubers, yam, sweet potato, straight potatoes. You want a little bit of fruit with meals. And don't go for so much of the tropical, particularly don't go for dried fruits because they're so calorically dense. So you want to be eating things like apples and pears and oranges, stuff like that. Lots of volume, water and fibre, a few calories, a little bit of nuts and seeds. You don't want to go mad on those either. All the herbs and spices you can throw at it because it'll make the food taste delicious. There was a study called the Broad Study at the end of 2016 out of New Zealand, and they showed, like, on average, the people in the study, they were eating unlimited calories of this food like that. And on average, they lost a pound of fat a week, and that was eating unlimited calories. Just simply, you can't stuff enough calories in there to make you not lose weight. Don't cook with oil. Like, oil's the worst. Like, so calorific. Just the whole plant foods that I mentioned should sort of fall off you. That's what I'm at the end of my, towards the end of my last cut, and I'm eating massive amounts of food. If you look on my Instagram, particularly from today, if you look at my stories, I documented everything I've eaten. I've eaten massive amounts, but it was a lot of berries, it was a lot of lettuce, steamed vegetables, and some grains, and a little bit of nuts and seeds. It's easy that way.
You missed a super chat.
Oh, wow.
A while ago.
I missed a super chat.
Yeah, Trudy Mini. They've waited with us patiently.
Ah.
So they've been very...
Is there a question with it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry, Truly Mini. $4.99 on the super chat. Thank you. What's your favourite meal, food, home cooked and or outside? I could tell you very easy. My favourite meal, restaurant meal, would probably be masala dosa, which is like a crepe sort of wrap. I think it's generally made from mung beans and rice flour. And it's got like a dry potato curry inside, and it's served with sambar, which is like a spicy lentil soup. My mouth's watering just thinking about it. This place in Norwich where we go, Namaste, there's Namaste India, which is a small place, Namaste Village, which is a big old restaurant. And they serve like authentic Indian food, not like Anglo-Indian. Oh, it's to die for. I actually ate at the owner's home, VJ, lovely guy, and it was the same food, and I remarked on that, and he said, well, yeah, this is authentic Indian street food as we have it in India. You know, and he said, like most other restaurants, they call it for customer consumption only. And it's, you know, it's got MSG and tons of, it's not got a lot of oil it's cooking, has it?
No.
For a restaurant, it's really low in oil.
Yeah.
In fact, their chana masala, they use no oil. It's really, really cool. Home cooked. Home cooked. What have I been? To be honest, I'm on this cut. I'm towards the end of the cut, and every little bit of food I'm eating tastes like the best thing I've ever tasted. So it's a bit harder for me to remember.
We've been really enjoying chips, but coated in loads of spices and sesame seeds and baked.
Yeah, that's good. You probably heard that, so I won't repeat it. What else do we like? Oh, I'll tell you what goes down really well. If we ever have any dinner guests, Gemma makes a African peanut and lentil stew, and it's got like it's like lentil lentil butter, peanut butter, and it's got like chili in there, but the sort of warmth and the fatty sort of element. Oh, it's really delicious. What has it got? Sweet potato.
I can't remember.
It's all good stuff. Yeah, it's really delicious. And in fact, the last people who ate it went vegan for 1 month to try it out. And they're staying vegan at home, at least, like they say. So that's a pretty good endorsement, isn't it? Oh, god damn. Well, talking about food, I really need to go and eat something. I really appreciate all you lovely guys, particularly the wrench reading moderators. Can we have a round of applause for the moderators, please? Get your emojis on the go. Guys, thank you so much for the super chat. You're making this like viable for me to not have to do a dull old boring job, and I can actually try to help turn the world vegan. So you'll never know how much I appreciate you. If you're new here and you want to become a part of the Hench Herbivore community, we'd very much like you to do that. So you can hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified of new videos and new live streams. I'll have a couple of videos out for you in the next few days, but we'll see you back here next Friday, 6 p.m. for another super chat live stream. You know what I mean. I'm just going to go now because I feel stupid.